Journeyman. Well, here I am. I missed the day, and it only took me 8 days in the year to miss my first one. That being said, let's proceed with the video. Dramatic pause for effect because I don't have an intro anymore. Ready to go. If you hear the munching, it's Bubba Gump behind you. Let me show you what he looks like, actually. I put a knot in the towel, and he's attacking the little treats that I put in there. So, Journeyman, what are we talking about today? What have you learned since Friday? I have learned that John C. Maxwell is the guy. He has a book called The 17 Indisputable Laws of Team Building. And in that, I think I made a video last time about it, but he's talking about character, and he's talking about resiliency. He's talking about letting go of your ego and understanding that for the team to win, you can't always be the number one guy. You have to take a back seat and forfeit some of your preconceived notions of, you being the best person. Because in my reality, I like to think that I want to be the number one guy in whatever I want to do. And that's just not the case. For example, the brand face for Fantastic Ventures is not me, as much as I would want it to. But I'm willing to sacrifice my own personal notoriety, which I don't have any, but I would like to have some. I think everyone would like to have some at some point. Hold on. Let me wet my whistle. The point of this is my business partner, Ruben, 6'4", 230, jacked. He looks great, right? Everyone loves to look at him. You can't deny that. And to deny that and say someone else would like to look at me, 5'7", 170, jacked, but, I was challenged. And I fit into my slot of not being bested or anything, but understanding that the team is more important. The team outcome, the company outcome is more important than my personal beliefs, right? So once you have that, something special is built. John C. Maxwell. And I'll tell you a quick story that I read about last night. I'm reading 20 pages a day. My goal is to read 12 books this year. And that's 20 pages a day, roughly. Which is a motherfucker if you don't read a lot. Which I don't. So I'm forcing myself to grow. But the story I wanted to tell you was about the Ward Company and Sears. And the law of paying the price tag for growth. Right? So Ward Company was pretty much the first, if you guys remember the catalogs from Sears, the big stacks of Sears catalogs that you would go through. They had everything from houses to lawnmowers to bras to everything in there. All types of apparel, all types of items, all types of price points as well. Anyways, Ward was essentially the first company. The Ward Company was the first company to kind of have a catalog and then run it through the railway out to rural persons in the countryside in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, right? And when everything started coming together as far as cities, they didn't pay the price tag of continuing to grow and go to unfamiliar places that they'd never been before. So case in point, Sears came in and said, hey, we're not only going to run the transit, we're going to do the railway to the rural areas as well, like Ward Company is, but we're also going to open up new retail stores. right? Ward did not want to change. And case in point, they actually went out of business within like 20 years after that. So at 130 something year, 32 years or something, they were in business. Sears put them out because they were not willing to grow for the team. They weren't willing to pay the price tag for changing, for growing. Another example of this was Walt Disney. So Walt Disney was actually Walt Disney Productions first. And then they changed it to Walt Disney Company after Walt Disney died. And they lost like $33 million 1 year after Walt Disney died. So they changed it to Walt Disney Company, expanded, and now they're one of the most sought after monopolies ever. And that has to do with paying the price tag to expand. Even during the recession, or the Great Depression rather, the 1940s, Sears was still, and I'm jumping back and forth, but Sears and Walt Disney Company did this as well in 2008. In 1940s, Sears was able to grow even further while the Great Depression was happening. That's crazy, right? Everyone else was broke and dying and starving, and somehow Sears was willing to put in even more effort, even more money, even more time, even more personnel into growing because everyone else wasn't. Same thing with Walt Disney Company. 2008, everyone was suffering a loss. But these people were still expanding. They were building their empire. They were buying more raw land to expand further. Now they have hotels. They have all kinds of shit that doesn't even make sense now. Their movies, Beauty and the Beast, all that stuff is just box office crazy. #1 production. So to all encompass, to bring it back together, I'm learning about these companies as a frame of reference, as an example, as a standard to always pay the price for growth. And let me jump topics. So as far as my goal that I mentioned, what my career is going to be moving forward, I'm still training. I'm still working out. I'm still working on my business, Fantastic Ventures, behind the scenes. But I've decided that I am not willing to go to PT school because PT, physical therapy school, DPT rather, Doctorate of Physical Therapy, because DPT is very broad, and I'm not swayed by the difficulty of putting my face in a book, but more along the lines of, that's not really what I want to do. I would rather put my face in a book and learn about sports psychology, #1, because it can translate into the dog, how to run with your dog, fitness, just helping people in a manner that I would like to be helped if I was struggling with weight, with confidence, with behavior, all these things that I've struggled with, not necessarily weight, but behavior, thoughts, mental struggles, resiliency, all of these things can be worked out through working out. And it's one thing to say that, it's another thing to know that. So I know that through experience, and I say that because I'm going to go to school and understand the academic side of it, how to program, how to understand your body, what are the muscles, what are all that. So I would rather pursue a master's degree in, well, first let me knock out my bachelor's degree in exercise science or kinesiology. I'm going to be applying at the University of Maryland, and I'm going to be using my Chapter 31 Veteran Readiness and Employment benefit. If you guys don't know about this, I'll shed some light as well. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but if you guys have the GI Bill, so hot in here. If you have the GI Bill, the post 9/11 GI Bill, do not use that yet. If you are a 10% disabled veteran, service-connected, 10% at least, you can use the Veteran Rehabilitation and Employment Program, and they pay you up to 48 months for education stipend, meaning your books, and, by the way, your rent or your mortgage, basic housing allowance. So if you use the VNRE first, it will not count towards your GI Bill. If you use your GI Bill, it will count towards your VNRE benefit, meaning VNRE has 48 months, up to 48 months. The second one, GI Bill, is 36 months. So you can theoretically use 48 months and then 36 months of BAH on top of you working, what have you. So that's my spill for today. It wasn't Monday, it's Tuesday. I love you guys. And if you guys learned something, let me know. See you on the next one. Fantastics Ventures is coming to you this year, the next couple months, so be on standby. Love you guys. Journeyman out.